NFTs are all the rage right now. And with 12-year-olds making a bag on crappy whale projects, it's no wonder everybody wants a piece of the pixel pie. I'm not kidding, this is a legit project. But with hundreds of projects hitting the market, many of them are destined to fail. So if you've started or you want to start an NFT collection, stick around to find out how to build, grow, and promote your NFT project. If you're new here, my name is David List and I help you build, grow, and promote your brand through the power of technology. And not that you should really give a shit, but these videos take me like a ton of time to make. So a subscribe and a like would be much appreciated. Okay, on to NFTs. So you're about to launch your new NFT collection, RiptoShitties. You've copied Hashlet's smart contract, you've paid a chump on Fiverr $100 for the art, and you've got a Twitter account with a handle, Got the Shitties. I really like that. Can we trademark that? So the big day comes. You imagine people rushing into OpenSea. You go over to Solidity and you hit the reveal button and... Shit, Roland. Could you have chosen something a little less dramatic?
Sorry.
That guy just straight planked into the floor. Anyway, the launch is a complete shit show. You get one sale and it's from an account going by the name of I Followed Through. Roland. What the hell? I'm coming up with a name next time.
Sorry.
Sorry. Stop saying sorry, you dickhead. If this is you, I'm sorry to say that you've missed some key steps in establishing and marketing your NFT collection. But luckily it's not too late to redeem yourself with my 5 steps to smashing your NFT collection out of the water. And if you're about to start a new project, I might just be able to save you from a serious marine vehicle accident. Okay, now for the sponsor. This video is brought to you by Whitelister.io. Whitelister helps connect NFT creators and collectors on one big whitelist. Creators can also submit their collections to the Mint list, where they can showcase their collections to the community. Whitelister is my personal project, and I'll fill you in on a little bit more about it at the end of this video. But if you can't wait until then, registration is completely free, so head on over to whitelister.io and become a whitelister today. Before getting started, I do need to preface this by saying this is not financial advice. Please do your due diligence before investing any time or money into NFTs. Also, the following steps are only my opinion and may not suit your personal project goals. Plus, yes, I know NFTs are not just digital art, but at the moment it's currently the most common, so that's what I'll be focusing on. Okay, now let's get into it. Step 1, know what you're selling. Okay, I'm gonna spend a little bit of time on this one because it's really important. The fact is that not a lot of people really understand what they're selling. Now this is true not just for NFTs, but many other products out there. Believe it or not, you are not selling digital art. Let that sink in. Okay, before you call bullshit, let me give you some examples. Nike does not sell shoes. They sell the promise of health and well-being only if you buy their shoes, their socks, and their jackets worn by Bigfoot's cooler and somehow uglier brother. Okay, want another? Coca-Cola does not sell sugary, smile-destroying beverages. They sell a promise of fun time with friends, tickets to the coolest parties, and the possibility of popping your cherry. Let's use an example a little bit closer to home. So I bought this NFT from the Luke of the Astronaut collection, partly because I like the art, but mainly because I was investing in the artist and his community. See, traditional art investment has baffled people for centuries, and their digital counterparts are no different. But it's really not that hard to understand. I mean, whilst the art can be interpreted in many ways, the story behind it is often the most enduring. Here's a quick quiz for you. What's the first thing you think of when I say Vincent van Gogh?
Rip into it. Slash it off.
That's right, that bloody ear. I mean, you type in cut off ear into Google and the first thing that shows up is Vincent van Gogh. You see, the art itself is often just the hook. The story and the community behind the art is usually what sells it. Owning a Vincent van Gogh is really about status and being a part of a community that only few will ever have the privilege of swinging their dicks in. So what are you selling? I'll give you a hint. The majority of collectors out there at the moment are looking for a return on their investment. There are some genuine art collectors out there, but the fact is that the majority want to flip their NFTs for a profit.
Well, yeah, Dave, I already know that, but why aren't they buying my project?
I hear you, creepy person from nowhere. The fact is that your RiptoShitties collection really is exactly like everyone else's. I'm not saying generative art collections won't work, but how much value are you really adding to the buyer? The Bored Ape Yacht Club is a great example. On the surface, they're nothing more than cool looking ape pictures at crazy prices. And just a side note, if someone wants to drop me a Bored Ape, my wallet address is davidlist.nft. Yeah, that'll definitely work. Yeah. But the Bored Ape Yacht Club is much more than you think. They have an amazing community, hence the word club. On their Discord, they have heaps of people that love having fun and helping each other out wherever they can. Secondly, they created future value in several ways. One was IP ownership. Now, typically giving away the keys to the castle is not done. You see, if you own a Bored Ape, you own the rights to it. The rights to lease it, license it, advertise, do whatever you want, really. So, before getting started with your collection, ask yourself, what am I selling? Step 2, build your community. Oh, and by the way, if you are learning anything in this video or you just really like my amazing jokes, why don't you go ahead and hit that like button. Okay, I mentioned it a couple times in step 1, but I can't emphasize enough how important your community is going to be to the success of your NFT project.
But Dave, I don't have any art yet. What am I going to show my followers?
Shit, you're a bit whingy today, person from nowhere. Well, the answer is that you're not going to show them anything. And believe it or not, this might be a blessing in disguise. Regardless of if you already have or you're wanting to create a generative art collection, start joining communities of like-minded people. Look, I shouldn't have to say this, but I will because most people just don't get it. When you're coming into these communities, you should always give more than you take. Remember, you're coming into their space, and going in with a hard sell usually doesn't work out very well. It's the equivalent of moving to a brand new school and being like,
You little stupid ass bitch, I ain't fucking with you.
yeah. Also, newsflash, you do not need a massive following. Just a couple of people that are willing to promote you and your project based on your integrity. Once you have this following, I recommend showing them pieces of your art to get some feedback. Furthermore, you may want to just create some one-on-one pieces and simply airdrop them to them. This is all about reciprocity. They invested in you early, so you should invest in them early. And while we're on the subject, trust is going to be one of your biggest assets. My favorite way to do this is fully doxing yourself. Not that kind of doxing. I mean fully revealing your identity. This creates immediate trust with your community. And the alternative is really going to require you to do a lot more legwork. So consider fully doxing yourself. I'm personally fully doxed on Twitter, so if you want to come over and follow what I'm doing, my handle is @davidlist_me. Of course, if you're a one-on-one artist, it's likely that you're already fully doxed and have a following. If you don't, you should really start now. Undoubtedly, the best place to find people at the moment is Twitter. Twitter has one of the biggest NFT and crypto communities on any of the socials that I'm aware of. TikTok is also gaining some momentum, so you may want to check that out as well. After that, it's really based on your own proclivities and what socials you're already using. Remember, I said like-minded people. Step 3, build your castle. Now, you know what you're selling, you're fully doxed with a loyalish community, it's time to build your castle. Now, you might be tempted to just go ahead and make a ton of JPEGs, but let's not put the cart before the horse. See what I did there, Roland?
Nope.
Not the brightest jewel on the crown, are you, Roland? To lay the foundations of your castle, you're going to need to know what marketplace and or blockchain you're going to put your art on. If you've done step 2, you're already going to know where your audience is and where they're likely going to buy your art from. If you skip step 2, you're a dickhead. You see, the collectors on OpenSea are much different to those on SoulSea, Atomic Hub, Rarible, and the list goes on. Each one of these have different cultures and biases. Some even have civil wars brewing. For instance, OpenSea allows the use of Ethereum, Polygon, and to a lesser extent, Clayton. The opinions for and against each of these chains vary from mild to outright vicious.
Do you think people focus maybe too much on your looks and don't even, realize that you're just a shitty actor?
I'm not going to go through the differences of each chain in this video, but if it's something that you would like me to cover on another one, let me know in the comments below. For now, just know that you need to choose wisely. Okay, you've chosen your marketplace and blockchain. Now it's time to build your army.
Wait, who are we going to war with?
No, you idiot, Roland. I'm going with the castle analogy. We're not battling anyone. Now, if you're a one-on-one artist, you're probably only going to need to navigate a marketplace, so go ahead and start solo to begin with. But for those running a generative art collection, you're probably going to need a team. A lot of people underestimate how much work a generative art collection really is. I mean, the DMs on Twitter and Discord alone are going to send you crazy. So, although not necessary, your chances of success with your NFT project is going to exponentially rise with a team. Here are some roles that you might want to consider: an artist, marketer, moderator, and developer. Now, this list is completely dynamic based on your own skills, project size, smart contracts, utility, the list goes on.
Where do I get these people?
Oh, you again. Yeah, well, remember when I said build your community? Well, these are the people that are going to help you execute your project. Most people have some skill that they can bring to the table. And if they don't, they're likely to know someone who can. You can also outsource some of these roles to freelancers like on Upwork or Fiverr. The most popular at the moment is outsourcing for artists. Now, there's nothing wrong with doing this, but if you do nothing else, please ask the question before getting started: do I get ownership of copyright? It's a simple question, but it might save you some heartache down the track. And just quickly, while we're on IP, please, please, please do not copy any other person's work. I've been ranting about this on Twitter for a long time now. Copyright in the NFT space right now is rife, and I can see a big legal storm brewing. To avoid any heartache in the future, just make original art. It's really that simple. You've been warned. Step 4, get your house in order. Now you know what you're selling, you've got a loyal following with a great team and some digital assets. Well done. It's now time to tie it up in a nice little bow. I've compiled a checklist of things that you should have set up before going to market. Those are project website, Linktree, Twitter, Discord, and marketplace profile. So let me break down as to why you might need this for your project success. Website. So some of you might be thinking, why do I need a website? Why can't I just use the marketplace? Well, that may have worked in the 2021 bull run, but every major project now really does need to have a website. So if you are going to omit this, you're really going to be shooting yourself in the foot. There are so many benefits to having your own website. Firstly, you really have unlimited digital real estate to show people your project, its roadmap, the founders, and whatever else you want to put on there. And here's a tip for those budget-conscious entrepreneurs out there. You do not need a Web3 integration. A simple website builder like Wix or Squarespace is probably going to get the job done. If you're stuck for ideas, I've made a mock website for RiptoShitties where it's got some helpful tips and tricks to get you started in the right direction. I'll leave a link in the description below. Linktree. If you're not familiar with Linktree, it's a simple app that allows you to link multiple URLs together on one landing page. So why do this? Well, most social apps these days have limited profile real estate. So using a landing page is really necessary when you're trying to show people your portfolio. Now, you could do this with your own website, but Linktree really is so common these days, people have come to trust the name. So it's just easier to use Linktree. Twitter. Twitter is currently the front runner when it comes to the NFT world. And combined with the recently released Twitter Spaces, it is becoming a force to be reckoned with. Now, there are a couple of ways that you can get started with Twitter. Most people opt for an individual project account and then their personal account. This kind of makes sense, but just note that when you're using your project account, people aren't stupid. They are going to be expecting you to be selling something. I personally integrate my individual account and my project account into one. And I purposefully put myself before the project. This is because I genuinely want to contribute to the NFT space. And if people like what I'm talking about, they're organically going to go through my profile and see what I'm doing. Discord. Discord. How I love to hate you. Okay, I'm going to get straight to the point with this one. Do not start a Discord unless you are going to actively contribute to your server. People dramatically underestimate the time it takes to manage, moderate, and respond to a Discord server. I am not saying do not start a Discord server. because it truly is an amazingly powerful tool. But if you are a Discord newbie, you might want to start small with only a couple of channels. Marketplace profile. Now this kind of goes without saying, but whether you're minting directly from your website or the marketplace, you're going to need to set up a profile for your primary and or secondary sales. And that's it. Now this is kind of the bare minimum for me. Some other projects like to set up other socials like TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Telegram. It really does depend on your project and what's going to give you the best exposure. Step 5, launch your project. Wow, congratulations if you made it this far. You stacked the deck in your favor, now it's time to launch this bad boy. Now, there are several ways that you can do a launch. Some do blind reveals, others do pre-mints, some just simply put their whole collection out on the marketplace and let the people choose what they want. It just depends on what makes sense for your project. But what really matters is creating scarcity and value at the time of launch. So let's break down some of the more common tactics used when doing an NFT project launch. Whitelists. Whitelists are essentially putting early adopters of your project on a list. People on your whitelist usually get reduced prices at pre-mint, or sometimes you can drop them NFTs directly into their wallet. This creates an initial hype around the project and makes sure that the community you already have gets looked after. But what if you're a small artist or project with a small community? Well, that's where whitelisted.io comes in. As a project, you can drop your collection on the mint list, which gives you exposure to the whitelist community. Not only that, but when Whitelisted reaches 1,000 active members who have completed their whitelisted profile, the whitelist will be revealed. As a project, you can go in and look at whitelisters that may have some similar interest to your project and simply drop them an NFT. You could run live promotions by having your community change their favorite collection to your collection, or you could even drop NFTs to whitelisters that start with the letter D.
Isn't your name David?
Shut up, Roland. And if you're lucky enough, your project might just get featured on the main page. So if you haven't already, sign up for free at whitelisted.io. Pre-launch. Pre-launch is essentially a mini sale before the main launch. It's often limited to a small percentage of your whole collection at a reduced price. Let's say your collection has 1,000 NFTs at a retail price of 0.05 ETH. You could choose to do a pre-launch at 10% of those NFTs and at a price of 0.02 ETH. This does a couple of things. It sets your floor price, which is your lowest value sale, and ensures that people who do buy at this price will see some value gained when you hit the main launch. Main launch. Okay, so from here there's not much to do really but promote. This is where the power of your community will really help you leverage your project across all socials. Pre-preparing digital assets is also a really good idea prior to your launch. Try to post about 3 to 5 times a day to continue the momentum until you hopefully sell out. Now, I've already spoken about the mint list by Whitelister, but it would be remiss of me not to mention some more amazing online tools that could help you gain more exposure prior to launch. They are premint.xyz, nftcatcher.io, rarity.tools, and howrare.is. And I'm sure there are many more out there. Of course, you can always do paid ads as well. I myself have not tried paid ads for NFTs, but the word on the street is that Facebook does not like NFT projects currently. Google Ads is always a safe bet in my opinion, but my advice is that if you want to do paid ads, just choose a social platform to do it on and try it. So there you have it. There are my 5 steps to help you build, grow, and promote your NFT project. If you have learned or gotten any benefit out of this video, please hit the like button and consider subscribing. I wish you all the best with your NFT project.